Good evening, my weary academics, and welcome to History to Sleep By, where we nerd out and conk out. If you enjoy calm, narrated history documentaries, or just need a reliable friend to help with restless nights, please subscribe, leave a like, and maybe share a comment about what's happening in your life. That way, you'll always find your way back to us. Now let's begin tonight's journey. In the quiet yet charged atmosphere of early 1776, North Carolina found itself a stage for the unfolding drama of the American Revolution. At the heart of this scene was the Battle of Moores Creek Bridge, a small yet significant skirmish that would ripple through the colonies. The Loyalists, those who remained steadfast in their allegiance to the British Crown, were gathering strength in the region. Their mobilization was centered around Cross Creek, now known as Fayetteville, a place where the Highland Scots, recent immigrants with strong ties to Britain, were particularly concentrated. Under the leadership of Brigadier General Donald MacDonald and Lieutenant Colonel Donald MacLeod, these Loyalists sought to join forces with British troops expected to land on the coast. As the Loyalists prepared to march, the Patriots, those advocating for independence, were not idle. Colonel Richard Caswell and Colonel Alexander Lillington were at the helm of the Patriot forces, determined to intercept the Loyalists before they could reach the coast. The terrain of North Carolina, with its dense forests and winding rivers, offered both challenges and opportunities for strategic maneuvers. The Patriots chose Moores Creek Bridge, a narrow crossing over a sluggish Blackwater Creek, as the site to make their stand. The Patriots, understanding the importance of the bridge, took measures to ensure it would serve their purposes. They removed the planks from the bridge, leaving only the beams exposed, and then greased these beams with tallow, making them treacherously slippery. Behind the bridge, they constructed breastworks, providing them with a fortified position from which to repel any advancing forces. The preparations were meticulous, aimed at turning the natural features of the landscape into a formidable defense. As dawn broke on February 27, 1776, the Loyalists, unaware of the Patriots' preparations, advanced toward Moores Creek Bridge. The air was thick with anticipation, the morning mist clinging to the ground. The Loyalist forces, led by MacDonald and MacLeod, approached the bridge, their movements cautious yet determined. The Patriots, hidden behind their breastworks, waited in silence, their breath held in collective suspense. The first contact was made as the Loyalists, led by MacLeod, attempted to cross the bridge. The slippery beams proved a challenge, slowing their advance and making them vulnerable. As they struggled to maintain their footing, the Patriots opened fire. A volley of musket shots rang out, echoing through the trees. The Loyalists, taken by surprise, faltered under the onslaught. MacLeod, leading the charge, fell, and with him, the momentum of the Loyalist advance. The battle was brief, yet intense. The Patriots, with their strategic advantage and prepared defenses, quickly gained the upper hand. The Loyalists, unable to regroup effectively, suffered heavy casualties. In the aftermath, nearly 30 Loyalists lay dead, with many more wounded or captured. The Patriots, on the other hand, emerged with only a single casualty, a testament to their well-executed plan. In the wake of the battle, the Patriots seized a significant cache of arms and gunpowder, a valuable prize that would bolster their efforts in the ongoing struggle for independence. The victory at Moores Creek Bridge sent shockwaves through the Cape Fear region. It not only disrupted the Loyalist plans, but also emboldened the Patriot cause in North Carolina. The political effects were immediate and profound. The Provincial Congress of North Carolina, inspired by the success at Moores Creek, would soon authorize its delegates to vote for independence at the Continental Congress, a decisive step toward the birth of a new nation. The Battle of Moores Creek Bridge, though small in scale, marked a turning point in the Southern theater of the American Revolution. It demonstrated the resolve and resourcefulness of the Patriot forces and highlighted the vulnerabilities of the Loyalist efforts. As the echoes of musket fire faded into the stillness of the North Carolina woods, the path toward independence became a little clearer, the dream of a new nation a little closer. And so, as we drift into slumber, let us carry with us the quiet determination of those who stood at Moores Creek, their courage lighting the way through the darkness of uncertainty. In the quiet aftermath of the battle, the people of North Carolina returned to their daily lives, yet something had shifted. The air was thick with a newfound sense of purpose and unity. Families gathered around hearths, sharing stories of bravery and resolve. The tales of the battle spread quickly, carried by travelers and traders. Each retelling seemed to add a layer of pride to the community, knitting together a tapestry of shared identity and common cause. The landscape itself bore silent witness to the changes. The fields, once mere patches of earth, now seemed to hold the promise of a future unburdened by distant rule. The rivers flowed with a renewed vigor, as if echoing the spirit of the people who lived along their banks. The forests, with their towering pines and whispering leaves, stood as sentinels, guarding the dreams that had begun to take root in the hearts of the colonists. As spring gave way to summer, the preparations for independence continued in earnest. The delegates chosen to represent North Carolina at the Continental Congress carried with them the hopes and aspirations of a determined populace. Their journey to Philadelphia was not just a physical one, it was a journey toward a new reality, one where the voices of the colonies would be heard and respected. Along the way, they encountered others who shared their vision, reinforcing the bonds that would soon bind the fledgling nation together. In homes and meeting halls, discussions about governance and rights became more frequent. The ideas of liberty and self-determination, once whispered in secret, now found a place in open conversation. Pamphlets and letters circulated, their words igniting imaginations and sparking debate. The writings of thinkers like Thomas Paine and John Locke provided a philosophical foundation, their arguments resonating with those who longed for freedom from tyranny. The summer sun shone brightly on the fields, where crops grew tall and strong, nourished by the labor of those who tilled the land. The rhythm of life continued, punctuated by the sounds of children playing and the hum of insects in the warm air. Yet, beneath this surface of normalcy, a quiet revolution was unfolding. The people of North Carolina, like their counterparts in other colonies, were crafting a new identity, one that would soon be recognized on the world stage. In the towns and villages, the local militias trained diligently, honing their skills and preparing for the challenges that lay ahead. The camaraderie among the soldiers was palpable, their shared experiences forging bonds that transcended individual differences. They were united by a common goal, their determination unwavering in the face of uncertainty. As they drilled and practiced, they carried with them the lessons learned at Moore's Creek, their confidence bolstered by the knowledge that they had already faced and overcome adversity. The natural beauty of the region provided a serene backdrop to these efforts. The gentle rolling hills, the expansive skies, and the lush greenery offered a sense of peace and continuity. Nature, in its quiet majesty, seemed to affirm the rightness of the path chosen by the colonists. It was as if the land itself was encouraging them to persevere, to hold fast to their dreams of independence and self-governance. As the days grew longer, the anticipation of what was to come filled the air. The delegates in Philadelphia worked tirelessly, their debates and discussions laying the groundwork for a new nation. Their efforts were mirrored by the actions of those back home, who continued to support the cause in whatever ways they could. Each contribution, no matter how small, added to the momentum that was building across the colonies. The night sky, with its countless stars, offered a reminder of the vastness of the universe and the smallness of individual struggles. Yet, within that vastness, there was a sense of connection, a feeling that the aspirations of the colonists were part of something much larger. The constellations, unchanged for millennia, seemed to watch over the unfolding drama, their silent presence a testament to the enduring nature of the human spirit. As the summer waned, the resolve of the people remained steadfast. They were on the cusp of something extraordinary, a transformation that would redefine their lives and the course of history. The journey toward independence was fraught with challenges, but it was also filled with hope and promise. It was a journey that would require courage, sacrifice, and unwavering commitment. Yet, as they looked toward the future, the people of North Carolina, like their fellow colonists, knew that they were ready to embrace whatever lay ahead. And so, as we drift into the gentle embrace of sleep, let us carry with us the quiet strength and determination of those who stood at the threshold of a new era. Their legacy lives on in the freedoms we cherish today, a testament to the power of dreams and the enduring spirit of those who dared to imagine a better world. As the first light of dawn broke over the rolling hills and dense forests of North Carolina, the air was filled with a palpable sense of anticipation. The people, bound by a shared vision, began to organize themselves in ways that would lay the groundwork for their future. Small gatherings in town squares and local taverns became the crucibles of revolutionary thought. Here, ideas were exchanged and plans were made, each conversation a small but vital step toward the larger goal of independence. In these humble settings, ordinary men and women found their voices. Artisans, farmers, and merchants alike spoke with a newfound confidence, their words carrying the weight of their convictions. They debated passionately, their discussions fueled by the writings of thinkers like John Locke and Thomas Paine, whose ideas of liberty and self-governance resonated deeply with their own aspirations. These gatherings were more than mere meetings. They were the birthplaces of a new political consciousness, one that would soon sweep across the colonies. As the seasons changed and the days grew longer, the resolve of the people only strengthened. They began to form committees of correspondence, linking towns and villages in a network of communication that spanned the colony. Through these channels, news of British actions and colonial responses traveled swiftly, binding the people together in a common cause. The committees served as a lifeline, ensuring that no community felt isolated or alone in their struggle. This sense of unity was crucial, for it reminded them that they were part of something much larger than themselves. The spirit of cooperation extended beyond mere words. As tensions with the British authorities escalated, the people of North Carolina took tangible steps to prepare for the challenges they knew lay ahead. They began to stockpile weapons and ammunition, understanding that the fight for independence might require more than just rhetoric. Local militias were formed, comprised of men who, though untrained, were determined to defend their homes and their rights. These citizen soldiers drilled in fields and clearings, their resolve as unyielding as the land they called home. Despite the looming threat of conflict, life in the colony continued with a semblance of normalcy. Families tended to their farms, children played in the meadows, and the rhythms of daily life persisted. Yet beneath this veneer of routine, there was a quiet but unshakable certainty that change was coming. It was a change that promised not only freedom from British rule, but also the opportunity to create a society that reflected their values and ideals. As the colonies moved closer to declaring their independence, the people of North Carolina found themselves at a crossroads. They were acutely aware of the risks involved in defying the might of the British Empire. Yet they also understood that the price of inaction was far greater. To remain under British rule was to accept a future where their voices would be silenced and their aspirations stifled. And so, with a mixture of trepidation and hope, they chose to stand firm in their resolve. The decision to pursue independence was not made lightly. It was a choice born of necessity, forged in the crucible of adversity. It was a choice that required them to look beyond their immediate fears and uncertainties, to envision a future where freedom and self-determination were not just ideals, but realities. This vision was not without its challenges, but it was one that they were willing to pursue with all their might. As the sun set on the eve of their new beginning, the people of North Carolina gathered once more, this time to affirm their commitment to the cause. In the flickering glow of candlelight, they pledged their loyalty to one another and to the dream of a free and independent nation. Their voices, united in purpose, echoed through the night, a testament to their courage and determination. In the days that followed, the colony would face trials that would test the very fabric of their resolve. Yet, through it all, they remained steadfast, buoyed by the knowledge that they were part of a movement that transcended their individual struggles. They were pioneers of a new era, architects of a future that promised hope and possibility for generations to come. And so, as we close our eyes and drift into the gentle embrace of sleep, let us carry with us the quiet strength and determination of those who stood at the threshold of a new era. Their legacy lives on in the freedoms we cherish today, a testament to the power of dreams and the enduring spirit of those who dared to imagine a better world. The morning sun rose gently over the horizon, casting a soft glow upon the fledgling settlement. Dew clung to the blades of grass, shimmering like tiny jewels in the early light. The air was crisp and filled with the scent of earth and possibility. As the settlers stirred from their slumber, the quiet hum of activity began to fill the air. Fires were kindled, sending tendrils of smoke curling into the sky, a signal of life and warmth in the cool dawn. The community was a tapestry of diverse backgrounds and stories, each thread woven together by the shared vision of a new beginning. Among them were farmers, craftsmen, scholars, and dreamers, all united by the promise of a land where they could forge their own destinies. Their hands, calloused and strong, spoke of hard work and perseverance. Yet, their eyes held a spark of hope, a light undimmed by the challenges they faced. In the heart of the settlement, the sound of hammers and saws echoed as new structures took shape. Each building was a testament to the collective effort of the community, a symbol of their unity and shared purpose. The settlers worked side by side, their laughter and conversation mingling with the rhythmic cadence of their labor. As they toiled, they shared stories of the lands they had left behind, tales of distant shores and familiar faces. These stories, passed down through generations, became the threads that bound them together, a reminder of the roots they carried with them into this new world. Amidst the bustle, children played with abandon, their laughter a melody that danced on the breeze. They chased each other through fields and forests, their imaginations painting worlds of wonder and adventure. To them, this land was a canvas, vast and uncharted, waiting to be explored. Their innocence and joy were a balm to the weary souls of their elders, a reminder of the promise that lay ahead. As the day unfolded, the settlers gathered for a communal meal, a time-honored tradition that fostered a sense of belonging and camaraderie. They shared the fruits of their labor, simple fare that nourished both body and spirit. Around the table, conversations flowed freely, dreams and aspirations voiced in the warmth of fellowship. In these moments, they found strength in one another, a collective resolve that fortified their hearts against the trials yet to come. The land itself was a character in their story, its beauty and bounty a source of inspiration and sustenance. Rolling hills stretched toward the horizon, their slopes adorned with wildflowers that swayed gently in the breeze. Rivers meandered through the landscape, their waters clear and cool, a lifeline for the community. The settlers learned to read the rhythms of the land, its cycles and seasons guiding their efforts. They planted seeds with care, tending to them with patience and hope, knowing that the harvest would be a testament to their labor and resilience. As twilight descended, the sky transformed into a canvas of stars, each one a beacon of light in the vast expanse. The settlers gathered around the fire, its glow a comforting presence in the encroaching darkness. They spoke of the future, of the dreams they held close to their hearts. Their voices, soft and steady, wove a tapestry of hope that stretched across the night. In the quiet moments between words, they listened to the symphony of the night, the rustle of leaves, the call of distant creatures, the gentle whisper of the wind through the trees. It was a melody that spoke of continuity and connection, a reminder that they were part of a larger story, one that had begun long before their arrival and would continue long after they were gone. As the fire burned low, the settlers bid each other good night, retreating to their homes with hearts full of gratitude and resolve. The night embraced them, its gentle lullaby a promise of rest and renewal. In their dreams, they walked the land of their hopes, a place where the seeds of their labor blossomed into a future bright with possibility. And so, beneath the canopy of stars, the settlement lay quiet, cradled in the arms of the night. The dreams of its people, woven into the fabric of the land, whispered softly in the darkness, a testament to the enduring spirit of those who dared to dream. As we drift into slumber, let us carry with us the echoes of their courage and hope, a gentle reminder of the power of dreams and the promise of a new dawn. As the first light of dawn brushed the horizon, the settlement began to stir. The air was cool and crisp, carrying with it the scent of dew-kissed earth and the faint promise of a new day. Slowly, the settlers emerged from their homes, rubbing sleep from their eyes, their breath visible in the morning chill. The sun, a golden orb rising steadily, cast long shadows across the fields, illuminating the landscape with a gentle glow. The settlers moved with quiet purpose, each task a thread in the tapestry of their shared life. Some headed towards the fields, tools in hand, ready to coax life from the soil. Others tended to the animals, their low murmurs mingling with the soft bleats and clucks that filled the air. The rhythm of their work was a familiar melody, one that spoke of perseverance and the steady march of time. In the heart of the settlement, smoke began to curl from chimneys, a sign that breakfast was being prepared. The aroma of fresh bread and brewing coffee wafted through the air, drawing people together around tables where they shared not just food, but stories and laughter. These moments of togetherness, simple yet profound, were the foundation upon which their community was built. As the sun climbed higher, its warmth dispelling the lingering chill, the settlement buzzed with activity. Children, their laughter ringing out like music, played games in the open spaces, their imaginations weaving tales of adventure and discovery. Their energy was boundless, a reflection of the hope that infused every corner of their world. In the fields, the work was steady and unyielding. The soil, rich and dark, promised abundance, but it demanded respect and care. The settlers knew this well, their hands moving with practiced ease as they planted and tended. Each seed placed in the ground was a promise, a silent vow to nurture and protect. The land, in turn, offered its own promise, a harvest that would sustain them through the seasons. As the day wore on, the sun arced across the sky, its light shifting from the bright clarity of morning to the softer hues of afternoon. Shadows lengthened, and a gentle breeze stirred the leaves, whispering secrets of the past and the future. The settlers paused in their labors, taking moments to rest and reflect, their eyes scanning the horizon where dreams and reality met. In the distance, the river flowed with a quiet grace, its waters a lifeline that connected them to the world beyond. It was a source of sustenance and a symbol of the journey that had brought them here. The settlers often gathered along its banks, their voices mingling with the sound of the water, a reminder of the continuity of life. As the sun began its descent, painting the sky with hues of orange and pink, the settlement slowly wound down. The fields, now empty of workers, stood silent, the day's labor etched into their furrows. The animals, fed and content, settled into their enclosures, their gentle noises a lullaby for the coming night. Evening descended softly, wrapping the world in its embrace. The settlers gathered once more, their faces illuminated by the glow of lanterns and the flicker of candles. They spoke in hushed tones, sharing the events of the day, their voices a soothing balm against the encroaching darkness. These gatherings were a ritual, a way to weave their individual stories into the larger narrative of their community. As night deepened, the stars emerged, pinpricks of light in the vast expanse of sky. The settlers looked up, their eyes tracing constellations that had guided travelers for centuries. These celestial bodies, constant and unchanging, were a reminder of the larger universe of which they were a part. In their light, the settlers found comfort and inspiration, a sense of belonging to something greater than themselves. The fire burned low once more, its embers glowing softly in the night. The settlers, weary from the day's efforts, bid each other goodnight, their voices carrying the warmth of friendship and shared purpose. They retreated to their homes, the promise of rest and renewal awaiting them. As sleep claimed them, their dreams took flight, soaring over fields and rivers, through forests and mountains. In these dreams, the land of their hopes unfolded, a place where their aspirations took root and flourished. The night cradled them gently, its darkness a canvas upon which their dreams were painted. And so beneath the canopy of stars, the settlement lay quiet, its heart beating in time with the rhythm of the earth. The dreams of its people, woven into the fabric of the land, whispered softly in the darkness, a testament to the enduring spirit of those who dared to dream. As we drift into slumber, let us carry with us the echoes of their courage and hope, a gentle reminder of the power of dreams and the promise of a new dawn.